Hey bookworms, Ilona Barnhart here. Hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you're at doing whatever it is that you're doing. Super excited to explore Svadhisthana Chakra with you this month. So I did a little research on the interims because I was curious to know if I was pronouncing Svadhisthana correctly. And just like many amazing things in this world and universe, there is varied of opinions in terms of this pronunciation. Mainly because Sanskrit is such an ancient language that there's a lot of different opinions on how to pronounce certain things. So I'm going to continue to say Svadhisthana because that's the easiest way for me to pronounce this word, and it just feels good in my body. So pronounce it however you want. Like, you could just say chakra 2, that's totally fine. So Svadhisthana chakra is represented by the color orange, and also tends to be a little bit more feminine in its energy. And the inquiry is typically around our emotional body, creativity, has to do with sexuality, and also our ability to be in touch with our feelings or emotions. So a few questions to really think about throughout the month while you're reading Anodea Judith, or just even journal about, is how often is guilt the motivating factor behind your choices? So if you're doing something for some people and you don't rather not be doing that, why are you doing that? And is guilt something that is pushing you to do that? And explore maybe why that is. Or it's just good to think about. Also, belief behind pleasurable experiences. So this one, I follow this yogi on Facebook. She's actually from Chicago, some of you might know her. And she's really all about the unreciprocated female orgasm. And it's a fascinating idea or thing to think about, because how often are you able to take that in and actually, just ask yourself, when was the last time you received an unreciprocated orgasm? And how did that go for you? Or have you not? Is there a tendency or belief to think that you always have to reciprocate? And then, of course, goes into all other aspects in life as well. Are you able to receive gifts from people and not feel like you owe them something back, and just receiving because you're receiving? Because sometimes the giver just really wants to give and doesn't want any attachment or any strings attached. Or if you give, are there strings attached, and why? And exploring that. Another question is indulging in any capacity. Are you able to lift your legs up and Netflix and chill and really enjoy that experience? Or are you legs up, Netflixing and chilling, but then in your brain or in your mind it's like the to-do list or the shoulds, or I should be doing this, or if you feel bad or guilty even about experiencing that. So thinking about why that is. Or do you not ever Netflix and chill? And then the other opposite is totally just binging on Netflix and not doing anything and then feeling really bad. And the same goes for having that chocolate cake, right? Making that decision, making those little choices of like not indulging at all and then binging on things, whether that's drinking on the weekends, scruffing down that chocolate cake, watching all 7 seasons of something on Netflix. Or are you able to space it out and have a little bit of indulgence or pleasure on a regular basis, and making those skillful choices in your life? So I'm going to choose to have this amazing cake, and then really, instead of just scruffing it down, enjoying every single bite. I'm going to choose to bring my legs up because I deserve it, and watching Netflix and chill. Or maybe if I don't think that I deserve it, I'm going to just relax and indulge and really enjoy that experience, whether you're enjoying it by yourself or with somebody else. Another inquiry or building self-awareness around these things is, do you deflect compliments, or are you able to receive a compliment? So if someone sees you and says, oh my gosh, you look beautiful, look at your hair, your smile, you smell amazing, are you able to say thank you and just really feel maybe how uncomfortable that is, or accepting it, feeling it in your body, whatever the feeling is for you? Or do you typically tend to be like, oh no, I'm not, or thank you, and you look amazing. Like, notice what it is, the thing that you say right after someone compliments you on whatever it is. And another inquiry is also sound and music. How does music feel to you in your body when you listen to it? What type of music do you tend to listen to? Do you like to listen to music on your own and have your own dance parties, or do you prefer being in concerts and music festivals and be in the mosh pit, or do you prefer to be in the balcony watching with a smaller group from above? All those inquiries can give you a little bit more insight into you and emotions and feelings and where there might be an imbalance. So balance characteristics of Svadhisthana chakra is graceful movements, fluidity, flow, and they're actually on the page 104 and 105 in Anodea Judith's book. So balance characteristics: graceful movement, emotional intelligence, ability to experience pleasure, nurturance of self and others. So self-care, we talked about that last month and how that overflows into others around you. Ability to change, and healthy boundaries. And she goes into some traumas that could have happened, and usually sexual violation, emotional neglect, denying a child's feelings. So, for instance, if you're a kid and you're saying, oh, but I feel sad about this, and my mom would be like, no, why would you feel sad? Like, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, you're a kid, you don't understand. Or, that's not how you feel. Why would you feel like that? So then not being able to express or feel fully, or when you are feeling an emotion, not connecting with that because that wasn't fully developed when the chakra was developing, which it develops during 6 months of age to about 2 years. That's the time that it kind of develops, according to Anodea Judith. And so physical abuse and also alcoholism in the family are some of the traumas that could affect this chakra, predominantly around 6 months to 2 years, but then also at any time in life. And excessive tendencies, so inconsistency, seductive, emotionally intoxicating energy. I would add flirt or tease, which I'll have plenty to say about that later, maybe in our virtual meetup. Very grateful to have a very understanding and secure husband. And happy to say too that having gone through this chakra modalities, that I've been able to heal in a lot of different ways, set up healthy boundaries, but we'll talk about that later. Love of mesmerizing, addictiveness to power, and seductiveness. The deficient side is lack of sex, excessive boundaries, so really just strict, rigid walls, fear of change, lack of desire, passion, excitement, and social awkwardness. And then Anodea Judith says that physical manifestations are disorders of the reproductive organs, spleen, menstrual difficulties, sexual dysfunction, impotence, premature ejaculation, frigidity, non-orgasmic, low back pain, knee trouble, lack of sexuality, lack of flexibility, deadened senses, loss of appetite for food, sex, or life, and then some healing practices, so movement therapy, emotional release or contentment as appropriate, inner child work, which did wonders for me. And it was something that I learned in yoga teacher training and then kind of continued here through this book, because I think she goes back to inner child work quite a bit, and we'll dive into that a little bit more. Boundary work, 12-step programs for addictions, assign healthy pleasures, and develop innate intelligence. So I would like to close with reading this month's affirmations. And once we get settled, I'll ask you to close your eyes. So if you're driving, don't do that, but just notice how the words or the affirmations that I read out loud land in your body and how that makes you feel. So if you're feeling any sort of discomfort or things like that, it might be something that you would want to repeat to yourself later and see where it lands in a particular part of your body, And then continue to say that until you feel a shift. And that's a different part of healing as well. And then maybe making up your own affirmation or mantra as you dive deeper into this and you begin to realize or understand your specific imbalance. So let's get comfortable in our seat wherever you're at. If you're sitting, maybe bring your feet to the ground, to the earth, or cross your legs. You could even lay down, so get comfortable. Maybe move your spine in a little bit, and wherever you're at, deep inhale in, expand your chest out, and chin toward the ceiling. Exhale, coiling in. Maybe move here a little bit too. Inhale up, expand, exhale, coiling in. And a few more rounds just like that at your own pace. Inhale, expands, and exhale, contracts. Feel the space between your shoulder blades. Deep inhale in. A long exhale out. Invite your eyes to close and come to a long spine wherever you're at. Maybe you sway to side if you're sitting. Embracing dynamic stillness. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose. A long exhale out through the mouth. One more just like that. Inhale through the nose. Long exhale, side out. Seal your lips. And allow these words to wash over you as I read them. I deserve pleasure in my life. I absorb information from my feelings. I embrace and celebrate my sexuality. My sexuality is sacred. I move easily and effortlessly. Life is pleasurable. Let these words settle. Notice any discomfort, awkwardness. Just gathering the data. And then when you're ready, take a deep breath in through your nose. And a cleansing breath out through your mouth. And gently pat your eyes to open. And maybe take the next few moments and journal about your findings. You have the time. Otherwise, happy reading, and till we meet virtually or in person. Take care.